Good morning, Yankees universe. Welcome back to another episode of the Yankees Morning Brew on this Tuesday, April 9th. Like always, I'm your guy Hector, hanging out with my co-host this morning. I got my guy Mr. TC Stills. And all you Yankee fans, wake up and get your coffee. TC, how are you doing?
How am I doing? Jeez, look at that Yankee team, man. Hey, I'm on cloud 9. 9-2, man. Got me feeling good, man. It's got good feelings of championship year, baby. How you doing?
It's listen, I'm feeling good. The New York Yankees, we are 9-2, first place in the American League East. I know it's a bit early. I understand that. 11 games into the season, but even so, 11 games. How can you guys not be excited with what we are seeing on the field? We was having conversations in spring training that, for me, I felt it was important for the Yankees to get off to a hot start when it comes to the season, TC. You had to set a tone. You had to send a message to the rest of Major League Baseball. Most importantly, you had to send the message to your fan base that the 2024 New York Yankees are leaps and bounds ahead of the team that finished 82-80 last year in 2023. Go ahead, TC, before I jump into the roll call.
Yeah, no, I mean, you're exactly right. We've been saying they had to get off to a hot start, and look at the schedule we've played. We've had, Houston, we swept, Arizona 2 out of 3, Toronto 2 out of 3. So it hasn't been easy, but we're making a statement to MLB, and it's just a different feel. I know this team has this. There's some negativity. The double plays are a concern to me, and some of the defense. But I mean, Juan Soto making a huge difference coming through. Anthony Volpe, the hot start. I mean, Aaron Judge hasn't even hit yet. So a lot of good things happening for this team.
Oh yeah.
No Garrett Cole, 9-2. Hey, you can't ask for more than that.
I think when Garrett Cole, when it was announced that he was injured, first 11 games out the gate, if you told any Yankee fan that this team was going to be 9-2 first 11 games, they would take it. They would take it. And the same fans, let me just have this little moment right now. Yeah. Same fan groups that are saying, oh, it's just 11 games and everybody trying to rain on our parade right now. If the New York Yankees started the season 2-9, you guys would be the same ones screaming from the hilltops. You see, the Yankees are frauds. But because the New York Yankees are 9-2 and not 2-9, you're trying to rain on our parade, and I just won't let that happen. Let me do the roll call before we continue. Shout out my guy, Austin Cruz in the building. Austin, how you doing, my guys? Austin says, what up, guys? I'm glad I'm not the only one to recognize Volpe's improved play when it comes to the bat. Austin Cruz,
not to recognize
you ain't the only one, my guy. We'll jump into Anthony Volpe right after the roll call. Shout out my guy, L.I. Yankee King.
What's up, L.I.?
The only troll in the Yankee universe I acknowledge is my guy, L.I. Yankee King. Anthony Medina, mi hermano de la
Medina.
Islas in the building. Medina, how you doing? Oh, we're getting so close to April 20th, Medina. I can't wait to be in the same room with you, breathing the same oxygen, watching the Yankees and having a good time. Shout out to everybody from NYYU. I can't wait for that event. My guy Chris N from Yankees Pod is in the building. Chris, how you doing? FL Diver is in the building. Anna Marie LeBeau says, good morning, you sexy people. Oh, that's a fact. I can't wait. Good morning. Who else we got in here? My guy Acevedo is in the building. Acevedo, how you doing? Knives or Life are in the building. My guy Knives, how you doing? Michael Caputo. Caputo, you on Twitter? Get your ass over here to YouTube, Caputo, before I whoop your
Juan
ass.
Soto now.
Shout out to Caputo with the Juan Soto PFP. Retro MC is in the chat right now. Who else we got up in here? We got over 50 people in the building rocking with us right now. If you guys can, please smack that like button and hit the subscribe button. We are sitting at 4,070 subscribers on our way to 5K. Help us out, but let's get right into it, right? We got to talk about Anthony Volpe, right? Anthony Volpe, he is having an amazing start to the 2024 season. I get it. It's 11 games. Not everybody is going to hit 420 for a season. But when you look at the numbers Anthony Volpe has right now, he's hitting 417. He's second in the American League. He has 2 home runs, 6 RBIs. He has an OPS of 1.154. And check out this fun fact. Shout out to my friend Katie Sharp on Twitter. Anthony Volpe, when it comes to Yankees, the age of 22 or younger with 15 plus hits, 5 walks, 5 extra bases in their first 10 games of the season, Anthony Volpe is an elite company, only next to Jeter and Lou Gehrig. You guys need to put some respect on Anthony Volpe's name. I put out a short this morning and I said, Anthony Volpe is serving chicken parm like you're at your Italian aunt's house for a Sunday dinner, and he's serving that chicken parm. And you could just tell in the offseason, Anthony Volpe worked on what he needed to work on. Anthony Volpe, his approach at the plate, the mental, the toughness. I'm happy Anthony Volpe is my shortstop. And I'm happy that Michael Caputo is in the building and can say that he loves Anthony Volpe. Go ahead, TC.
Wait a minute. What happened with the other Michael Caputo with the Juan Soto? Was that an imposter?
That was on Twitter. That was on Twitter. He's on YouTube.
Oh, now. You flip back and forth. Okay, yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
You're technology. You're all over the place.
Shout out my guy Kev in the building from Nickish in the building. Kev, how you doing? Go ahead, TC. Speak on a young man, Anthony Volpe.
Yeah, before the season started, we were all, wondering who was going to be that guy behind Juan Soto and Aaron Judge, that third hitter, that would come through, because you can't just rely on those two guys. And we thought maybe it was going to be Rizzo, maybe Stanton, maybe, Verdugo. Anthony Volpe has stepped up his game, and he is that guy. And it's a matter of time where he becomes the leadoff hitter, because his on base percentage is through the roof. He's looking at pitches. I mean, his at bats are great. I mean, he is seeing everything. He's going the other way with the pitch. I mean, he's taking his walks. Last year he was swinging and missing. He was striking out at a too high of a rate. And right now he's seeing the ball well. Last night, was it 0-2, 1-2 pitch? Down and in, and he took it deep. He doesn't need to hit a lot of home runs. Just get on base and spray the ball all over the field. That's what he's doing. He's contributing even on his defense, man. That what play he made in the hole, backhand, short hop. I mean, he's coming through defensively, offensively. I mean, you can't say enough about this kid. And actually his sophomore season, and he's a big contributor to this 9-2 start.
Oh, yeah, he definitely is. And his numbers just across the board are up when it comes to his at-bats per home runs, his at-bats per walks, the difference between the walks and strikeouts. He is walking more than he is striking out right now. He's leaps and bounds just ahead of where he was at last year. Shout out to my guy, Richie Rivera from Empire State of Baseball. ESB is in the building. If you guys can't, give my guy Richie a follow and a subscribe over there, ESB. They do amazing work on YouTube. They do an amazing job on Twitter. Who else we got in the building? My guy Bobby Woodruff is in the building. Bobby, how you doing? And if there's any Yankee fans going to the game today, let me know. Link up with me. I was at opening day with my girlfriend. It was amazing. I had an amazing time opening day. I love to link up with any fans that are out there. So if you guys are going to the game tonight, let me know. Shoot me a DM and we'll link up at the stadium. Shout out to my friend Erica Garcia in the chat. Erica, how you doing? Salute to you. 3 capital S's. Who else we got in here?
Big Time Jerry's in the house.
Velez is in the building. Where's my guy, Big Time Jerry? Big Time Jerry Cadell is in the building. Good morning, Hector and Todd. What a great start for the New York Yankees. We have to be very pleased. Absolutely. And I'm going to bring it up one more time because we are happy and we are pleased that Anthony Volpe is serving chicken palm to the people. Serve that chicken palm. Now, getting back to the conversation.
Yeah.
I know a lot of people are talking right now on Twitter that Anthony Volpe, May 9th, ESB will be in the building at Yankee Stadium. Make sure you guys show up. But there's a lot of Yankee fans or a lot of chatter online about Anthony Volpe possibly being an all-star this year, right? Possibly being moved up into the lineup to be the leadoff hitter, right?
Yes.
I get it. I understand it. What we're seeing in a small sample size, 11 games, is great. Hopefully he can continue this momentum and can continue this trajectory for the rest of the season. But as of right now, pump the brakes just a little bit. Don't add any extra pressure to the chicken palm prince, Anthony Volpe. Let him just sit where he is at in the lineup. Let him marinate, and eventually the Yankees will move him to the leadoff spot. Eventually he will be up there in the leadoff spot this season. In the future, me personally, I love it to be Jason Dominguez. But for right now, Anthony Volpe, his 2-strike approach, the way that he goes up to every at-bat, he cares about it. It's like you're not wasting any more at-bats. Last year, you down 0-2. All right, cool. I'm a strikeout. I'll put it in play. That's all I'm going to do. That was the approach last year. This year, with Juan Soto in the lineup, it seems like everybody is taking their at-bats more serious, like it's their last at-bats of their career. You're not just giving up at-bats anymore. Go ahead, TC. I'll give you the...
Yeah, I mean, props to James Rosen, the new batting coach. I mean, it seems like every player, every guy up and down this lineup, 3-2 count. I mean, they're not giving away any at-bats.
Yeah.
Even Stanton, of late has kind of worked some counts because it seems like every time I see him, he's 0-2. I mean, yesterday he had, some very hard hit balls, and he's getting his hits. And Verdugo had a nice game, 3 for 3. But yeah, these guys are seeing the ball well. Different approach. It's a different approach this year. It's not just hit the ball hard. It's don't give away at bats. I mean, we're seeing it with Volpe. He made a huge change. And you know what? If it's not broke, don't fix it. So right now he's hitting well. I wouldn't be moving him around the lineup like last year. He was up and down 8, 9, 1, 7, 6. I mean, the lineups were ridiculous. This year, another. I want to credit Boone again. Consistent lineup. I like what I'm seeing, and that helps. These guys know where they bat in the order. They know when they're playing, so they get ready for the game. It's not like, oh wait, where am I today? Am I leadoff? Am I 6th, 5th, 9th? I mean, I like the consistency. And it helps because guys are creatures of habit. They get used to being in a certain spot. They have their rituals. So everybody seems comfortable. Everybody, it's a slow start for a couple of guys, Rizzo and Judge and Trevino. But, some of these guys, they're getting they're getting hot. And it can only go up from here because we're already 9-2. And some of our guys aren't even hitting. So, looks good. We got to talk about Nestor, though. Got to talk about Nestor.
No, we'll get into Nestor Cortez. We'll get into Juan Soto also. I want to bring up some chats real quick before we continue. Anna Marie said, just like a good paneer, Volpe needs his time. Don't rush the kid. Absolutely. You got to love a paneer. that was roasted for more than 24, 48 hours. Anna Marie, if you know,
Not sure
you
what
know.
that is, but
Erica Garcia, it's roasted pork. It's Caribbean roasted pork. All right, Puerto Ricans
okay.
make it, Dominicans make it, people from South America make it. They make it in Cuba as well. Come on, you got to come on. Next time you come to New York City, I bring you to Washington Heights. I bring you to a Dominican restaurant to have something in there for the first time. All right.
Okay.
But Erica Garcia says Volpe's 2 strikeouts yesterday were actually walks. The kid is seeing the ball so well. Absolutely. And that's the thing. Even though he had 2 strikeouts, Erica, on pitches that were balls and both of our eyes, at least he's not expanding the strike zone. He's staying to his approach. Even though he understands the umpire is not giving him that call, he knows what the strike zone is, and he's not helping the opposing team by going outside of the strike zone.
Last night.
And that right there shows maturity. Acevedo says, and we still have 2 sleeping dragons when it comes to Gleyber Torres and Aaron Judge. It would be crazy whenever they both wake up. No, absolutely. Richie Martinez says they are actually putting the ball in play and not just relying on the home run. L.I. Yankee King says, hot take. The Yankees will not move Anthony Volpe to the leadoff spot just to bump him down in the lineup next year when Dominguez is back. So the Yankees will keep Volpe in the 5 to 9 spots this season. All right, my guy, L.I. Yankee King. Appreciate you for your take. Who else? Anna Marie says, teach him, Hector. Absolutely, you got to. And I promise you, pinky promise, we will have some of that good panini when you come back. So I got a friend backstage that I want to bring up. I'll bring them up momentarily. Let me just move the screen around, because what we do over here, we like to bring our friends to join the conversation. If I could get the open panel, the 3 cam to work. Hold on 1 second. There it is. Okay. Erica, let me get a thumbs up. Let me know you're ready to rock with us. My friend Erica's ready to go. Erica, how you doing? Good morning.
Good morning, guys.
Good morning.
I'm good. I'm good. I hope all
right. Look at that Erica. Gear. Look at the Yankee gear she's got on. All right.
Yankees are 9-2, man. It's a great morning.
Absolutely, absolutely. You had some great comments in the comment section about Anthony Volpe. So let us know before we switch gears. We switch all over to Nestor Cortez. Give us your take on Volpe real quick, Erica.
I love what I'm seeing. The growth from last year to this year is incredible. I don't know who expected this much of a jump. I know the last time I was on here, you guys were asking if I think he's going to be an all-star. At this last week, I thought it was a little too early to tell with all the other stars that are at shortstop in the AL. But right now, this looks like, I don't know if he can get cold because of how good he's seeing the ball. If he's not going to hit, at least he's seeing the ball and he can get on base with walks. And you know that a walk turns into a double when it comes to Volpe, if not a triple, because he's going to steal a bag. So I'm loving what I'm seeing defensively. I'm loving what I'm seeing offensively. Keep him where he's at right now, I think. Just at least for a little bit longer. It is still only, a week and a half, 2 weeks into the season. So give it, I think, until May. And if he's still doing what he's doing, then I think you got to put him in the leadoff spot.
Yeah, I think right now, I'm not gonna argue with you when it comes to that. By the end of April, if we get into the first week of May and Anthony Volpe is still performing at the same level and Gleyber Torres is struggling at that leadoff spot, it just makes sense to put Anthony Volpe in front of Juan Soto and Aaron Judge. It's just giving more opportunities for those guys to drive in runs when Anthony Volpe gets on base. I'm gonna shout out some chats real quick. Big Time Jerry says Nestor was outstanding. We need that so we don't burn out our bullpen. And that's a perfect segue because I wanted to lead the conversation. We got to talk about nasty Nestor Cortez, the Cuban Missile, who was on fire last night. Nestor Cortez grew up a Marlins fan. Brian Holt put it out on Twitter. Nestor Cortez loved the Marlins dearly growing up. His favorite players were Miguel Cabrera, Dontrell Willis, and Juan Pierre. And later he became a Giancarlo Stanton fan. Facing the Marlins for the first time, Nestor Cortez threw 8 scoreless innings. He put his record to 1-1 in the season, a 3.50 ERA, 13 strikeouts, and this is the first time that Nestor Cortez went 8 innings and threw over 100 pitches in a game since 2022. That right there, I was a bit worried when he came out in the 8th inning. I was like, all right, Yankees, what are you doing? I understand the bullpen is depleted. You had a nice little lead, but Nasty Nestor went out there. It was easy, smooth sailing. TC, I throw it over to you and then throw it over to Erica. Give us your take when it comes to the Cuban Missile, Mr. Nasty Nestor.
Yeah, that was good to see. Especially, I mean, right off the bat when he, when he does his wind up and he, delays and the rockabye baby, that's the Nestor we love, and he broke it out. It's his third start, so Aaron Boone said, we got a 7-0 lead. Let's give him another inning, and I mean, it was smooth sailing. He was 1, 2, 3. I mean, he looked great through strikes. All his pitches were working. I mean, he was ahead of most every batter. Even with the umpire with a strike zone, he was real tight strike zone. But he maneuvered through the lineups. There's some good hitters. The Marlins aren't the greatest team right now. I mean, they did have a terrible start, but they have some good hitters in that lineup, and he made them look silly. And good defense as well behind him. With Anthony Volpe making some good plays, but it's good to see Nasty Nestor is back, because we need that. We need him to come through. And it was bullpen day off, because we brought up a kid. I can't even say his name. I don't know who that kid was. But they brought him up. We're just
going to call him Mr. W. That's all we're going to call him. Mr. W.
Whatever. He came in 1, 2, 3, saved the pen, and now we're ready to go. We're setting up for a sweep. So, hats off to Nestor.
I just want to highlight a comment real quick. My guy Michael Caputo in the chat. Michael Caputo says, Hector, this is by far the best community we have going for Yankee fans. This is a great team, and we love it. Absolutely, Michael Caputo. And I'm going to just tell you guys that are watching, if you guys are in the comment section, whether it's on Instagram, YouTube, Facebook, wherever you're watching us at, if you aren't on Yankees Twitter, I advise you, get on Yankees Twitter. We have great conversations. It's a great community. I met my friend Erica, Sierra. I met Chris N, Jimmy Randanzo, my guy Ghost. I met a lot of amazing people, Hitman as well, a lot of amazing people on Twitter. So I advise everybody, get up there, because there's some Yankee fans that you could be friends with. Erica, I'll throw it over to you. Give us your take when it comes to Nestor Cortez. Go ahead.
So unfortunately, I wasn't feeling too hot yesterday, and I didn't watch the game pitch by pitch. I ended up watching like the condensed version on MLB app. But from what I saw, I mean, you love to see it. He goes 8 innings, doesn't give up a run. How many hits did he give up? 2. So you guys got to remember, Nestor. I know that he had the ball opening day, but he's a back of the rotation guy, and when you're getting that at the back of your rotation, I mean, that's incredible. I know that you just mentioned it, TC. The Marlins aren't the hottest team right now, but they still have a really good offense. But at the end of the day, the Marlins, you got to beat up on those bad teams, and he went out and he did that, and that's huge. You got to stack up these wins, because the Yankees, they hit slumps. Look, a couple years ago, we started off so hot, and then we hit that really bad slump. Everyone thought they were going to give up the AL East. But you got to stack up these wins when you can. You got to take advantage of teams when they're bad. And Nestor coming out and helping us do that, and being able to maintain our bullpen for the next 2 games or whatever games are coming up is huge. So I love it. I also love that I see that the Yankees are extending these pitch counts and letting them go out there. I mean, they even I was not expecting Luis Gil to come out for that extra inning the other day, and they let him rock. So things are definitely a little bit different as far as the manager choices are concerned. But I can't say anything bad about Nestor. You want to see what he can do against. I mean, you did see what he did against the Astros. I wanted to say, you want to see what he could do against good teams. Yeah, he's not starting off hot, but he settles in, and then you get an extra 4 innings that you weren't expecting out of him. So right now, again, like I said, for a back of the rotation guy, he's killing it.
Yeah. And, he's coming back off of injury, major injury at that messed up his 2023 season. So to see that Aaron Boone is having confidence in Nestor Cortez, and it's important if the Yankees want to hold the fort down while Garrett Cole is rehabbing, making his way back. We're going to need starts like this from Nestor Cortez. Carlos Rodon's on the mound today. I would love to see Carlos Rodon match that same energy and give us 6, 7, maybe 8 innings as well, just to go on, keep that momentum going. The next man up in that starting rotation. That way Rodon could pass the ball. Okay, Stroman, it's your turn now. Give us 6, 7 shutout innings. Clark Smith, the same, and et cetera, until Garrett Cole comes back. I think it's important to get these kind of starts, especially for the bullpen. Because you see in the bullpen early part of the season, we happy 9-2, but if there's any criticism or there's any leaking holes in the ship, it has to be with the bullpen. I want to bring up just the pitching lines from yesterday's game, and I'll read it off real quick. Nestor Cortes, obviously, 1-1 on the season, 8 innings, 2 hits, no runs, no walks, 6 strikeouts. He threw 102 pitches. 70 of those pitches were strikes. You love to see that. And then the guy in the 9th inning, Whiskey, Mr. W. I'm going to call him Mr. W. He gave us 1 inning. He only threw 4 pitches. 3 of them were strikes, but he was able to do the job in that 9th inning to get the game over. Let's bring up the lineup real quick before we switch gears to Mr. Juan Soto. And I'll throw it over to you, TC, because there's a lot of names and I need to drink some water. So read off the lineup and I'll drink my water. Go ahead.
Yeah, so Gleyber Torres was leading off. He went 0 for 5 with a strikeout. He's yet to get going, but he will. Juan Soto, big home run last night, 3-run homer, 2 for 3. He had a run scored, 3 RBIs, and 1 walk, 1 strikeout. Aaron Judge, slow start, 0 for 4, 175. That's all right. It'll turn it around. Don't worry. Don't panic, Yankee fans. Stanton, 2 for 4. Really good signs of him breaking out. 2 runs. Batting 250. He's actually, I think, the 3rd best hitter on the team. What do you know? Anthony Rizzo, 1 for 4. He had a strikeout, 220. Anthony Volpe keeps going. 3-run homer. He had a run scored, 3 RBIs, 1 walk, 2 strikeouts. But, hey, it's okay. We got Verdugo, 3 for 3, hot game he had. He had a run scored, an RBI, and a walk. Batting 211. I think he raised his batting average about 50 points yesterday. Jose Trevino, still not getting on track yet. He had 0 for 2. He had a run scored, 2 walks, and a strikeout. Don't like that average below 100, but we need to see Austin Wells today, I think. And then we had Birdie rounding it out. Played 3rd, 0 for 3, 2 strikeouts. It's okay. Play good defense.
And that's what you want. And that's what you want from John Birdie, just to be out there, play good defense. If you're able to lay down a bunt, lay down a bunt. That's all you want to want.
That was good.
Erica, besides myself, you was there for opening day, right? We missed each other. We ain't linked up with each other, but we both saw our guy Future and his mother, right? So shout out to our friend Future. But Erica, let the people in the chat know, because it's easy for me to say the energy in the building, especially with Juan Soto, was electric. Now I need it from somebody else. Give them your perspective, how it was opening day, Juan Soto and Marcus Stroman. Go ahead, Erica.
I'm just saying the energy was so wild that it caused an earthquake. Is that, you know what I mean? Like, there's no coincidence. Yeah, right. I have never seen Billy. Like, I was at the game early. I was there you were there really early, but I got there around 10:30. And Billy's was a madhouse over there to get in. I've never seen it that packed. And then walking into the stadium, you just had this sense of I don't know. There was just something in the air. Everybody was pumped to be there. The Juan Soto effect is real, guys. Like him being in right field was just crazy. The roll call. I can't even put it into words. There was just something different. It gives me chills. Like I have chills right now, even thinking about it. And I hate that they lost. I really do. But obviously, that's in the past. It is what it is.
It's a love affair.
Because I feel like that stadium, although it got loud, it never was allowed to really let it out because the Yankees never put up any runs on the board. Like it didn't get really loud until Volpe hit that opposite field single in the 9th inning, and like you felt it. Like they just wanted to let it out, and they never allowed it. So, but I heard Saturday and Sunday were just as crazy. Apparently Yankee Stadium was just as nuts. So yes, there's something special brewing in the Bronx, guys, and I love that we're gonna be a part of this.
And I'm not gonna lie, I had the only FOMO, right? Of seeing what was going on at the stadium Saturday and Sunday, and seeing the social media posts. And yesterday, having FOMO, I wanted to be at the game yesterday, couldn't be at the game yesterday. I'm going tonight. And you're right, Erica. The energy is different. Something different is brewing in the Bronx for 2024. I know we got Damien backstage and NFE. Fellas, hold on 2 seconds. I know Celso wants to come up. We're going to do a duck race real quick for our guys, Uncle, Grandpa, Tats. Erica gets to see what a duck race is. We talk about it all the time on Twitter. And now she gets to see what the fucking duck race is. Celso, whenever you want to come up, He's setting it up right now for the rubber ducky races.
Oh yeah, what's up, yo? Hey, Erica, what up, TC?
What up?
Chilling, baby.
I've yet to run into a negative Yankees fan this week or last week. It's so weird. Everybody's so happy.
It's because of your show. It's the positivity show.
Yeah,
you changed everybody's attitudes.
That's what it is. Your positivity in the morning helps us get throughout the day. Go ahead, brother.
Well, what up to the chat? So this weekend, Pinstripe Chronicles, Uncle Grandpa Tats and all them, they did a charity fundraiser for Parkinson's. It was really great. I thought it was such a great turnout by those guys. So we offered everybody that donated to that, we would do a duck race. They get a Yanks Morning Brew mug giveaway. So we'll do a duck race to start it all. So shout out to all those guys that donated, and shout out to Pinstripe Chronicles podcast. It was such a great cause. Great job, guys. So ladies and gentlemen, if you have yet to see how duck races go here at the Morning Brew, you are in for it. You are in for it. There we go. We've got all the donators. Let's shuffle it up, make sure it's fair. 45 seconds on the clock. Let the race begin. Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to the quaggy duck racing. Anthony Garcia looking snazzy with the witch hat on. Look at you sexy son of a bitch, you. John Psycho. Oh, that could be like a new song, huh? Ain't good. What do you think, Heck? Yon, Sicko, wake up in the Sicko. No,
I think they're gonna make a run here.
Medina chilling back there. Look, he got the shades on, just relaxing. Cammy Ryan, the rooster duck, undercover. Looks like he's squeaking into first place here. Anthony Garcia dropping down. Joan got a flat tire. See ya, Joan. There's a unicorn on the track, people. There's a unicorn. Brandon looking like he's about to take the lead, and the winner is Brandon!
What a win.
Congratulations,
gotta love
Brandon.
The unicorn. Gotta love the rainbow swag for the win. How about that?
That was beautiful. Congratulations, Brandon. Again, great job, guys, for the Parkinsons. Appreciate you. I'll let you guys get back to your Yankees talk.
Okay, so I'm gonna bring up Damien and NFE. That's my friend Celso. Why did you mess that up? We're going back to the open panel. What are you doing? Okay, so I'm gonna bring up Damien and NFE right now to join us in the conversation because come on, he's just pressing buttons, just ruining the flow. Damien, good morning. NFE, my brother, good morning. NFE looking sharp. Okay, good. Alhamdulillah, brother. Alhamdulillah. Good. Go ahead.
Chain NFE, and there you go. You're full effect.
Yeah, Damien.
I need a chain. I need to be like Damien.
Yeah,
he's showing you up, Damien. He's showing you up.
Man, I'm calling the barber as soon as I get off this stream right now.
Same. I'm skipping the gym today and going straight to the barber. NFE, I'm gonna throw it over to you, my guy. You know, let's get your take when it comes to Juan Soto. We're gonna lead this conversation. I'm gonna bring up the graphic real quick and shout out to Damien and NFE, Erica and TC. We have a great panel right now. We got to talk about Juan Jose Pacheco Soto on the season. He is hitting .357. 2 home runs, 10 RBIs with a 1.009 OPS. Juan Soto, this is what he said. We all feel like a family right now. It's only been 11 games, and we already feel like we are sticking together. We're pushing together. We all want the same thing. Juan Soto's not going no place. He ain't going nowhere. All you delusional Met fans, all you delusional Red Sox fans, you fans of the LA Dodgers, Juan Soto, he is home. Erica, how many Dominican flags did you see opening day? How many? I lost count after like the first 15 minutes.
I saw a lot. Just in right field alone, there was a ton. But yeah, no, it's live in the Bronx with the Dominicans in the Bronx. He's staying here. There's no way he goes to Flushing. No way.
There's no way. You go over there and no disrespect to my friends that are Met fans, but you look at the stark difference. Flushing last weekend when Yankees had opening weekend, you guys had 50 people or 30 people for one of your games for a doubleheader. Yankee Stadium was packed. It's been packed ever since. He's not going to go. And last night during the game, I think it was in the 8th inning or the 7th inning when there was a pitching change, he was in right field signing autographs. This is the middle of the game. We're in the middle of the game. The batter steps out just to gather himself, and he's interacting with the fans. Juan Soto is the love of it. NFE, go ahead. I'll throw it over to Damien, TC, and then Erica. Go ahead, brother.
I mean, It's Soto. What else is there to say? It's Juan Soto. He's everything is advertised. Like he's a generational player. This is the player that the Yankees needed. They got him. He's a perfect fit. Like what more can you say? And as far as the team sticking together, having that team chemistry, they absolutely have that team chemistry. As soon as he walked in that room, it was like, all right, this everything is going to work out. You see him, you see Stroman, you see Verdugo, Judge, like they're all clicking, they're all having a great time. I mean, it's Juan Soto. That's all I could really say. It's Juan Soto. He's the whole package. He's the whole package. He's a versatile player, and he's got the right attitude, the right personality. Right in the Bronx, New York Yankees, Dominican community. I mean, what more can you say?
Yeah. Facts, NFE.
Yeah.
Damien, go ahead, fly guy.
Hey, first of all, good morning, everybody. Hector, TC, Erica, great to meet you. Great takes. I love it. NFE, my guy. Shout out to the chat, FL Diva, Caputo, Chris N. I appreciate you guys last night on Twitter. That was pretty awesome. Of course, we had Celso in the background all night, but it was all good. But man, I tell you what, yesterday in our group chat, I told everybody I think it was the 8th inning or 7th inning. Soto went out there, and the smile on this dude's face has been from day one, from game 1 through 11. I'm sorry to the league, but he's going nowhere. You guys don't offer anything other than money that we can match. So you don't offer a legacy. You don't offer a team that wants to push to be winners. You don't offer Judge, who's right now, Judge, let's face it, he's the best recruiter that you can possibly have. A guy that welcomes everybody and says, you know what, I'm the captain, but this is our team, not just my team. So Soto's going nowhere, man. He's a perfect fit. Instead of chicken buckets, we got cuchi frito and fries buckets. So he's going nowhere, man. And man, just embrace it. Embrace the year. I mean, even if we don't go to, I know a lot of people are like World Series of bust, and I get it. I understand it. I feel that way too. But it's not World Series of bust when it comes to re-signing Soto. He's coming back no matter what. So book it right now.
Copy. TC, I'll throw it over to you. Future, I see you backstage. I'll bring you up in a second. What's hilarious is that every time Future jumps backstage, he automatically pops in and he just, this is all he does whenever he's backstage. Go ahead, TC. Go ahead.
Yeah, you can see it's a love affair between the fans and Juan Soto. Juan Soto, he loves to be here. I mean, every time he runs out to right field, he salutes the fans. He's clapping for him. He's giving it, raising them up and throwing balls to him. I mean, he just loves to be here. This is his home. He's been searching for a home all his pro life, and here it is. He's found it. He's got personalized cleats that show it. I mean, this guy hey, what more do you want? I mean, this guy is in a lineup with Judge and Rizzo. I mean, he ain't going nowhere. This guy is here to stay. He brings a different kind of energy. This team is completely different just because of him. The feel around the ballpark and all around Twitter and YouTube, and I mean all the fans, they feel it. They feed off of this. And salute to Cashman for actually pulling the trigger and doing this. And it is. It's a World Series feel. It's a 2009 feel. So hey, let's hope that we make it.
Yeah, Erica, I'll throw it over to you to give us the take when it comes to Juan Soto and Future. Just hold on 1 second. I'll bring you up. I'm preparing a link to share. Go ahead, Erica.
Yeah, no, shout out TC, because yes, Cashman finally pulled the trigger. We said it about Harper, he didn't do it, whatever. We said it about Machado, he didn't do it, whatever. So the fact that he went out and finally listened to us, because we're not dumb, we understand this team, that he did that, it's great. But yeah, Soto has been amazing. He understands, like he said yesterday, that something that Derek Jeter always says, Yankee fans, we watch the game. We understand the game. And he knows that. He sees that. He's like, I love that they're in on every pitch. Like the way that we get together in these spaces and we dissect these games, that's how baseball players, these teams, they look at it. They go in and do those scouting reports. So, but yeah, we love the game the same way that he loves it. And I think that that's what he really appreciates. He appreciates being here. He understands the culture of New York, the culture of the Bronx. The lineup is thriving off of him. You know, he's getting the big hits, but he's still working those walks. And I think that that's contagious, because look at the entire lineup. I know you were talking about, we don't love Trevino's batting average, but he worked 2 walks yesterday, 1 through 9. They're seeing every pitch, every, like, with a purpose. And I think that that's a lot of credit due to Juan Soto. And yeah, I mean, there's nothing bad you could say right now about him. I'm loving it, and yeah, he needs to stay here. He needs to stay here for life.
Yeah. And hold on, they brought it up during the Blue Jays series when it comes to players that have seen the most pitches in their at bats. And when you look at it, number 1 wasn't a New York Yankee, but on that list, number 2, number 3, number 4, and number 5 were New York Yankees. It was Gleyber Torres, Juan Soto, Aaron Judge, and Anthony Volpe. Those 4 batters are in the top 5 when it comes to the most seen pitches so far this season when it comes to the at-bats. And that right there is a stark difference from last year, right? All the shade in the world when it comes to Dylan Lawson. I'm going to just be honest with you, right? The man graduated from Transylvania University. My man, you weren't a major league hitting coach. Again, no disrespect, anything like that. I wish you all the best in your future endeavors. I know we all gotten that letter from a job that we once had back in the day, but Dylan Lawson is not on the same level as Rosen, right? And I said to TC, you can have all the analytics in the world. Analytics is just extra data. If you don't have the right people in place to take that information, interpret it, and put it into practice for the players, you're shooting yourself in the foot. And now we have a hitting coach that can take that data and put it into practice and make it palatable so these players can digest all of that information. Because if you got all this stuff, all these numbers coming at you, you're going to sink. But if you can have someone tunnel that numbers, tunnel that information, and make it easier for you to process, you're cooking with gasoline. I'm going to bring 2 more people up to join us right now. I got my guy Jason for 161 River Ave, and then I got Future. Jason, let me get a thumbs up. Let me know you're ready. Future, let me get a thumbs up, all right? The Wubbies.
Real quick, I just want to make a quick shout out to Hal Steinbrenner as well. Hal signs off on everything. You know, last year at the trade deadline, Hal said Brian Cashman wanted to make moves. Hal said, no, you're not making not one move. So shout out to Hal Steinbrenner for bringing Soto in. We give Cashman his flowers for doing it, but Hal had to sign off on that. Those 2 together are a team. So we got to give Hal some love and his flowers as well for bringing in Soto.
No, definitely. My guy Richie Rivera said, hell of a panel. Frankie Rivera said, this panel right now is 5-star. Absolutely. Razil the Great says, back up the JP Morgan truck, back up the Brinks truck, and pay that guy. My guy Rod Thompson said, Spike Lee and Rakim, they don't do Mets opening day commercials. Sorry, Juan Soto ain't going nowhere. Absolutely. And the fact that he has New York State of Mind as his walk-up song, and he specifically had it cut to the part that says, shout out to all my Dominicanos right there up on Broadway. That right there, the fans lost their mind when that played on the intercom for the first time. Jason, I'm going to throw it over to you. Give us your take when it comes to Sotito, and then throw it over to Future, and then we're going to keep the conversation going. Go ahead, brother. And folks, we got over 130 people watching us right now. Smack that like button. Let's run the likes up on the stream. Go ahead, Jay.
That dude's going up to Washington Heights with Gleyber Torres like 2 in the morning getting Spanish food, and then they're going to get fades after that. So he's well into the culture. He's well into he ain't going anywhere. Juan Soto, okay? And you know, I can't see him going to the Mets. You know,
why?
It's not a fit in my opinion. And the fact, I'll say this: if you looked at the Forbes recent payroll lists, the Mets are $290 million in the red.
Mm-hmm.
In the red. So how are they going to afford him?
There you go.
That's basic math that a lot of people don't seem to be taking in. So, but it's true. And the Yankees are $2 million in the black. Okay, they're not swimming in profit. But that said, and Soto's saying this too. Like it feels like family here. He's rubbing off in so many different ways. So is James Rosen. So, and it looks like they have the right group of guys here. I mean, I like the Rosen. I like the Brad Ausmus ad because he added that fire to the Zen that Boone brings, right? So, and House, like you said, too, House taking a more active part in this, and becoming a more assertive and getting the guy that they wanted. And Soto was the guy that they needed to get. Like, they didn't need Ohtani. They didn't need Yamamoto. They needed Juan Soto. Okay. And they got him. So, and again, this is the first time. I was just talking to the feed about this. This is the first time in a long time that the Yankees have a lineup that they can be consistent with. All these other years, they haven't, they weren't consistent. There was so many frustrated fans. And Boone had a lack of options all these other years. He did not have the credible backups behind the starters, and the starters got hurt. He didn't have the guys that he has now. So he wasn't in a position to put forth consistent lineups. Now he is. And look what they're doing. They're winning.
Yeah.
And testament to that. And again, when you have the personnel, it's so much easier to put forth consistent lineups. And he's got it.
Just give me 1 second. Somebody just brought us a coffee right now. I got to bring it up on the screen. Thank you for buying us a coffee over there at buyusacoffee.com. They put someone anonymous. They didn't want to put their name, but he brought us a coffee. 22 will leave right field when his 22 is in Monument Park. Absolutely. That is when Juan Soto is going to leave. Future, I'm going to throw it over to you, the young guy from Twitter. Let the folks know how you feel about Juan Soto, and then we can keep the convo going. Go ahead, Few.
What can I not say about Juan Soto? I had the opportunity to be at the ballpark yesterday and watch his home run live. That was awesome. And that thing hung. That ball hung for a minute. And what's funny is that there's a lot of people chirping, saying, "Oh, short porch." That home run's a home run in all 30 ballparks, apparently. So it didn't matter what ballpark it was. That was gone in all 30. My goodness. No, but Soto, he's amazing. Like, we've waited for a guy like this to be on the team. I mean, we had Judge, and he was carrying the offense the entire time. Now he has somebody that can help him out. Like he has what's it called? He has backup finally. Like for like even like I want to put this up. In 2022 at the second half, when Aaron Judge went on that crazy run, he was 1/3 of the Yankees run support. How can you be 1/3 of the run support when you're just one guy in a 9-person lineup?
Yeah.
That's just not mathematically possible. It's literally impossible. But he pulled that off. But now he has a guy who can back him up. And it's not even just Soto doing damage. Stanton is slowly waking up, but we all know how Stan is. Rizzo is sort of getting in a groove, but Volpe is in a groove. Don't know what chicken parm he took this time, but he's just in one. Cabrera woke up and had the same chicken parm Volpe had. Like and then on top of that, more than anything, even though some guys are not hitting, they're walking. They're just getting on base. Like their averages are not good. Like if you look at the averages, they look bad. But it's like I'm looking at a minimum 300 average lineup just because they're getting on base so much.
And that's a stark difference, Future, when you look at this team in 2024 and you compare it to last year's team, right? I got a video that I want to play about when it comes to Juan Soto. And folks in the chat, I'm going to put out the open link for everybody else in the chat. This is just people that I know from Twitter and just from YouTube. I send them the link, that I'll send the link to everybody else. Just hold on momentarily. We'll get everybody else up here. I just want to get, the crew up here and then the folks from the chat up here first. So I got this video from Juan Soto I'm going to play, and then we will be right back.
I would call it a family. I mean, we all feel like a family right now, and it's only been like 11 games, and we already feel like we're sticking together, we're pushing together, we all want the same thing. So I think that's how I describe it.
And I know we was playing that, the graphic that I made earlier that had the quote, but when you look at it, right, he doesn't seem like he's forcing that type of statement, right? That's not a forced statement. That's from somebody that actually wants to be here and actually wants to be a part of this team. And when A-Rod first came to the Yankees, it wasn't all copacetic at the beginning, right? It was a lot of bumping roads. You guys remember the mirror picture and stuff like that. With Juan Soto, it's nothing like that. And they was having a conversation on the broadcast about Garrett Cole and how he's like an extra pitching coach out there, having conversations with Clark Smith, having conversation with all the different pitchers. And that's the same thing with Juan Soto. I don't think Oswaldo Cabrera has the start that he's having to this season without Juan Soto in his ear, telling him, listen, switch up your approach and go like this. I don't think we see this version of Oswaldo Cabrera. I don't think we see Gleyber Torres grinding out at bats, even though the results aren't what he wants when it comes to his batting average. He is still walking. He is still top in the league when it comes to seeing pitches. Same thing with Anthony Volpe. He worked this offseason by having Juan Soto, a guy who knows the strike zone and know what's a ball and strike. That right there, it's like it's infectious. Other people pick up on those habits when you have good habits. The same way players pick up on bad habits when teammates have bad habits, they can pick on good habits as well. But I want to switch gears, switch the conversation, because Garrett Cole came out yesterday and was talking about the injuries in Major League Baseball. And I know there's a conversation as of right now. I think it's like 160 something pitchers are injured right now. What is going on with Major League Baseball? Where does this all come from? TC, I'll throw it over to you and then throw it over to Erica, Damian, NFE, Jason in the future. Go ahead, TC.
Well, I mean, right away you wanna say it could be the pitch clock because these injuries are popping up of late. A lot of big time pitchers, but you can't right away rush to that. I think it's going to take a little bit more time to feel to see if it's the pitch clock. But honestly, it's the velocity and the spin rate. I mean, these pitchers are forced to increase their velocity, increase the spin rate, and your arm is not made to pitch overhand and have all that torque on curveballs and sliders. And it's just, as a matter of time, the arm's going to break down. The elbow and the ligaments, they're just going to wear down. And we're seeing it, it's more prevalent right now because there's a lot of, big time pitchers, Garrett Cole, Shane Bieber, Ohtani. I mean, you can go on and on and on. There's so many. There's at least 20 to list. But I don't know. I think they're going to do more research. It's going to take a little more time. I know MLB, had a quick response to the fact that it's the pitch clock. So I don't think the players appreciated the just to blow it off because it could have some contributing factors. But again, it's just it's just the arm. The arm is just not made to do these type movements, and the velocity and spin rate are and there's a lot of things. Pitchers can't use the sticky stuff. Maybe that that has a lot to do with it as well. Getting good grip on the ball. I mean, there's also batters are getting more advanced technology as in hitting. So pitchers have to counter that with trying to do different things with their pitching. So it's unfortunate, but yes, more studies need to go be on underway. So I don't know what to make of it.
Erica, let's get your take. What's your thoughts on all these injuries that's going on in Major League Baseball?
Well, for starters, it's unfortunate, right? Because these are the aces of all these team staff. I think I saw somewhere that the only ace that's left right now might be Corbin Burns, maybe Luis Castillo.
Wow.
Like, that's it. If you really go up and down through the 32 teams, there's not many aces left. Again, but to TC's point, it's 100% to do with just the amount of pressure there is on these kids to start throwing with higher velocity and implementing this technology to high schoolers and even kids that are playing travel ball. They're throwing 80 miles an hour at 16. There's no way. I don't know if you've ever seen a arm, like a still photo of an arm, especially like Randy Johnson. The way that it looks, it's just unnatural. But right. Yeah, it's definitely the fact that the velocity. I for sure think there's some kind of tie to the grip of the ball. So now you're trying to get all this spin rate and that velocity up there. And we know that sticky stuff assists with that. And now you're trying to kind of equate to that spin rate without the sticky stuff. So now you're almost overdoing it with your arm. There's not enough time off to heal the arm. Like I guess the off season doesn't really even exist for them. The pitch clock probably doesn't help because now you have to like really rush, and that pitchers are creature of habit. You do the same motion over and over and over again, and when you feel like you're being rushed, that might tweak something just slightly enough where now that messes you up, right? There was a guy, I think a guy in the Reds came out. He did his whole warm up, threw one pitch, and then his second pitch, another elbow issue. So I'm sure that's throwing things off, and it makes me really nervous about Cole. I know that they didn't find anything in his MRI, but it concerns me because when he does come back, and he ramps up and he gets into a live game situation, how his elbow's going to hold up. So yeah, I think it's just a culmination of everything right now. And they really have to figure this out because this is not good for the game. Again, like I said, I think there's only 2 aces that are outright like available at this point through all the teams in the MLB. So like you said, there has to be more studies. Obviously, we can only go by emotion and what we think it is, but I don't think there's any coincidence as to all of this. I mean, they're saying that Tommy John surgery is more prevalent in younger kids. Like it keeps getting younger and younger and younger. So it just, again, there's no coincidence. I think that it's just a culmination of all of it.
Yeah. NFE, I throw it over to you, then throw it over to Damian, Jason, and then Future. Go ahead, brother.
Yeah, these injuries are concerning, and like TC was saying, the way your arm moves when you throw those pitches, it's not normal, right? And after a while, that arm is going to break down. Look, prior to the pitch clock, pitchers were having issues, right? Tommy John, it seems more common now than ever, right? Before it was a rarity. Now it's more common. These guys are throwing a lot harder. The velocity is a lot higher. I mean, it's concerning. I don't know what the solution is, right? But it's clear that it's a major problem. Now with the pitch clock, I don't want to 100% blame the pitch clock, but it's adding to it though.
Yeah.
Because ever since they implemented the pitch clock, the injuries have gone up. It's gotten worse. I mean, look, Shane Bieber is out. Right. And there's some other big name guys like, Giolito, right? We could go down the list of names, but I'm saying there's a lot of names that are out right now that are hurt. And I think it's a combination of those two things. And the pitch clock I don't think it's helping, even though Major League Baseball is saying, no, there's no evidence. I'm not buying it. I'm sorry, but I'm not buying it. There needs to be a research done. Yes. Absolutely. And Garrett Cole even came out and said it too, that he's pissed. He's pissed off that that Major League Baseball is not, considering that the pitch clock being an issue, because those guys, they do need to recover, after each pitch. It's just when you're rushing them, I don't know. It's I feel like it's it's going to be more of a disaster, and yeah, it's bad for the game. It's bad for business. It's bad for sports. It's bad for the fan base. When these many pitchers go down, it doesn't make the game exciting to watch. And I want to watch the game. I want to watch these guys pitch. So, I don't know what the solution is, but something needs to happen. Something needs to change, because, what if the careers are over? What happens then? What if these guys' careers are over? What now? Right? When people used to get Tommy John, when pitchers used to get Tommy John, their careers were done. It was over. But they found they found a cure, right? But it just can't keep happening. It's just happening too often, and it's frustrating.
Yeah. So, like you said, a study needs to be done, a mass study, something needs to be done. I got something to say on the matter, but I'll throw it over to Damian, Jason, and then Future before I give my take. And folks in the chat, we got over 150 people in the building rocking with us right now. If you guys can, please smack that like button. Let's run the likes up on this live. Go ahead, Damian.
Man, it's to TC, to Erica, to NFE's point, this is a culmination of all kinds of things. You got young kids who are now training from young to throw 97 to 100. That's their goal. So from the very, back in the day, you throwing 80, 85 in high school, that was okay. Now these guys are trying to max out 90 to 95. And then you got, on top of that, you have the pitch clock is an issue. It does play a part in it, no doubt about it. And then you got MLB, because let's face it, the bottom line is money. MLB, when they came out with the pitch clock, they said, we're looking for two things: speed up the game and produce. What they wanted was more offense. So as much as it's killing our game with obviously getting all these star players hurt, top of the line starters hurt, now you're going to add in AAA arms that are going to start starting big games. What does that do? That adds offense to the game. What does Major League Baseball want? They wanted offense. So they're not going to admit it. And it's unfortunate because this plays into exactly what they wanted. But at the end of the day, they're hurting it because a lot of less people are going to tune in just for the fact that you're not watching the stars of the game, the Coles, the Biebers. I mean, for God's sakes, the entire Marlins staff is on the IL right now, other than Jesus Luzardo. Every single one of them. You're talking about Sandy Alcantara, who's a dog. The guy is amazing. Possibly the best pitcher in baseball, let's be honest. Hasn't pitched because he has Tommy John. Yuri Perez, phenom, 20 years old, Tommy John. The list goes on and on and on and on. So Major League Baseball has to come up with something. They got to, again, even with the sticky stuff, a lot of pitchers want the sticky stuff just for that grip, which avoided some of the torque. Maybe get a page out of Japan, use some of their baseballs. They got a really tacky baseball in Japan. Start funding and getting those produced for America. But man, something has to happen. Like I said, at the end of the day, you're gonna end up having AAA, quadruple A pitchers that are pitching in huge games in the playoffs because the stars of our game are hurt.
Yeah, Jason, I'll throw it over to you and then swing it all over to Future so I can give my take on it. Go ahead, Jay.
I don't think pitch clock is the reason, but I think it's a reason, right? And it's part of the puzzle. And like MLB accomplished their goal last year of minimizing, cutting down the pitch clock to save time in games, right? But now this additional cut from 20 to 18 seconds has become visibly counterproductive for the pitchers. And a lot of pitchers are getting hurt, and they're not acknowledging that. And you all make some very good points. We can all see this, right? Mm-hmm. Fans and content creators, this is obvious. And I'm going to equate this to, like, NFE and I both practicing martial artists. We've been doing it for a long time. And it's very hard to stay mechanically sound and technically efficient if you're not getting a good recovery. And when you're cutting the recovery for pitchers, and again, we're not even factoring in if they have to make adjustments to the pitch comm and all these other things, and have time to effectively grip the ball in weather that's not conducive to gripping the ball. If it's cold and windy, they're going to have a hard time gripping the ball. So I think this final cut, which is a 10% cut from 20 to 18 seconds, is doing more damage than not. And I'm glad that pitchers like Gerrit Cole are speaking up about it, because I do hope that they'll consider, at the very least, putting it back up to 20 or 25 seconds, because this is benefiting the hitter way more than it's benefiting the pitcher.
Yeah.
So, and there's got to be some kind of equitable balance here. And to Erica's point too, like, all the aces are hurt, right? And we need, not only do we need offense, but we need to see the aces pitching against the offense, right? And good pitching tends to shut down good hitting, and we don't have enough of that right now. So something needs to be done to address this, and we don't know what it's going to be. But I think players are going to continue to speak out about it, and I do think a wise first move would be to move it at the very least back to 20 seconds, and then keep it there. You've already accomplished your objective of cutting the time of the games, right? And what was the main goal from cutting it from 20 to 18? Does anybody know? Nobody, right? Nah. They didn't even explain it. So what was the point? So, and it's clearly not. It's clearly hurting players more than it's helping them. So I think that needs to be addressed initially. And with other stuff, and I guess yes, and you're right too about you want the money to come in. So with the offense and so on and so forth, MLB wants it. They have their eye on the prize, right? Which is money, which is one reason they're keeping shut up. They're keeping shut about Shohei Ohtani, because he's the cash cow of Major League Baseball.
Mhm.
Let's just be real about that now. So, but at some point, something's got to give because the fans are all onto this.
Yeah,
everybody.
No, definitely something. The shoe has to drop. Future, I'll throw it over to you before I get my take. I got a nice little response from Dr. James Andrews. You guys remember? I mean, Dr. David Andrews. You guys remember him? But go ahead, Future. Future, you're muted.
When it comes to the whole pitching injury situation, it's wild. But there was a video I saw of Tyler Glasnow. I don't know if any of you guys seen it, where he made this 2 years ago, where he specifically blamed spider tack, and not the fact of using it, but the fact of just having stuff. And he blamed the texture of the balls. And what's it called? There was a start that he had that he described where he didn't use anything, like he just went raw with it. And it was a good outing. He said he said one of his best outings, but he was sore, like really bad, like sore in places he didn't know he could be sore in. And I'm like starting to think maybe the whole use of spider tack and the whole use of using stuff was, well, probably due to the fact that the texture of the ball was just bad. It's not just because of spin rate. It's just grip. And when you have excessive grip and you're grabbing onto it a lot harder and you're using a ball like different, like if you're gripping the ball like harder than you're normally used to, then you're gonna feel it. So on top of throwing hard, on top of short pitch, the pitch clock being shortened down, like there's so many different factors. Like I don't think the pitch clock is fully responsible, but I do think it's responsible for it being accelerated. Not indirectly responsible for the injury, but I genuinely believe with less of a time to just recover yourself was due to the fact that you had to speed up your process, and now it's shorter.
Yeah.
So I strongly believe the pitch clock is a big contributor, but not the sole contributor.
It goes back to the point that both Jason was talking about with NFE, and then Erica hit it on the head, TC and Damien. When it comes to the pitch clock, it's the recovery. You're not giving a lot of pitchers time to recover in between. And I know they've done many studies, MLB baseball. They've tried this in the Atlantic League for years, and the injuries weren't popping up in the Atlantic League. That's why I think it goes back further. So I got my friend Scott on Twitter. He put it out there. I'm going to share it onto the screen so we can all read it. This
Hector, real quick. Nick Pivetta just went down, 15-day IL, elbow. Another one bites
lying.
the dust.
Jesus,
you're lying.
Are you serious?
No, another one bites the dust. 15-day IL as we're talking about this.
No
That's
way.
crazy.
Yeah.
That is crazy.
No
All
way.
right, I'm gonna share this on the screen real quick so we can read it. And yes, I'm that kid in class that reads something and I miss words here and there, so just bear with me. My guy Scott on Twitter put, it's not the pitch clock. Pitching injuries begin in youth baseball. I coached for over 20 years. Instructors and coaches are ruining arms. Dr. Andrew confirms. This is from Dr. Andrew in an article that was put out there. I started following the injury patterns and injury rates in the year 2000, Andrew says. Back in those days, I did about 8 or 9 Tommy Johns per year in high school age and younger. The large majority of Tommy Johns were at the major league level and at the minor league level. Then you had college level baseball, et cetera, et cetera. In today's situation, the whole thing is flip-flop. The largest number is youth baseball. That surpassed what's being done in the major league, and it's a terrible situation. Andrew says the obsession with velocity and spin at a youth level is having dangerous and devastating impact on arms and the game itself. These kids are throwing 90 miles per hour in their junior year of high school. He says the ligament itself cannot withstand that kind of force. We've learned in our research lab that baseball is a developmental sport, that Tommy John ligament matures at about age 26. In high school, the red line where the forces go beyond the tensile properties of the ligament is about 80 miles per hour. So according to this doctor, he is saying in high school, The most you should be throwing is 80 miles per hour. You shouldn't be throwing 90 miles per hour in high school because the ligament is not mature. You've heard conversation that the legal age is 21 because your brain fully develops at 21. Well, it's really 26. Just like the Tommy John ligament in your arm, it matures fully at 26 years old. So youth baseball nowadays is hurting Major League Baseball when it comes to preparing these guys for the Major League level. And now somebody will hear our conversation and be like, well, Sandy Alcantara, he doesn't play youth baseball in the States, right? Framil Valdez, he doesn't play youth baseball in the States. And I'm going to tell you this, you're absolutely right. But one thing you got to understand is if you go to the Dominican Republic, if you go to Venezuela, if you go to Puerto Rico, especially in DR and Venezuela, more DR than anything else. But at age 12, 98% of males at age 12 are dropping out of school to pursue the dream of baseball. Out of that 98%, less than 10% of them are signed by a major league team. And less than 3% of that 10% make it to the major league level. So at 12 years old, these kids are trying to throw the ball as fast as they can. These kids are trying to throw the ball with as much velocity, with as much torque as the kids in youth baseball in the States. So it could be a combination of the pitch clock messing with the recovery time. But when you look at it, kids that play travel in youth baseball, I'm not sure if you guys have kids or follow kids that do travel in youth baseball, but there shouldn't be kids that in the summertime on a Monday he's pitching in Virginia, then on Wednesday he's pitching in Florida, then on Friday he's pitching back in Connecticut, and every start he's giving 80, 90, or 100 pitches. What do you think is going to happen in the future for that kid? You're going to see what's happening right now because every one of these pitchers that are hurt right now, Spencer Strider, he played travel baseball growing up. Garrett Cole, he played travel baseball growing up. And you see the results right now, and it's going to keep getting worse and worse and worse if nobody is overseeing and regulating youth baseball. It has to be done. Every point that everybody made is a valid opinion. TC, Erica, Dame, NFE, Jason, Future, all valid points. But I feel this situation is going to keep on getting worse until somebody oversees and regulates youth baseball. It's the same thing when it comes to youth football and youth basketball. AAU for youth basketball, that's a money scheme. That's all about making the coaches rich, making the parents rich, making whoever else rich, and not the players. Sorry for that little bit of a rant right there.
Absolutely.
I'll throw it over to TC, then Erica to get their take, and then we'll keep going around on the table. Go ahead, TC.
No, I mean, I agree with you. I've coached, I have a stepson. I've coached him ever since he was 4 years old through the, all the way up from T-ball all the way up to, senior league baseball. And I see these, these kids that want to be good. They have trainers, they have, guys working them out. And I see them, they're working on, throwing curveballs, throwing, change up, throwing all different kind of pitches. And these kids are too young, 8, 9 years old, trying to throw, curveballs. It's got to stop. And that has an effect. I mean, especially if you make the pros, look at how many years that is on your arm all the way through, youth ball, high school, college, and then all the way in the pros. Over that time, your arm is taking such a toll. Those ligaments are just going to tear. So it's, it does. You're right. It has to be regulated. You can't just blame the pitch clock, but the rest is key because, I mean, you even see it like a 5-man rotation. Sometimes maybe make it a 6-man rotation. Maybe have an extra day off. Because back in the day, these guys didn't, they didn't throw. Actually, a lot of them did. They did throw a lot more innings. If you look at, like Tom Seaver, Bob Gibson, Nolan Ryan. I mean, these guys were workhorses, but I don't think they threw as hard. And they use their legs a lot more. I think that's a key too to also look at. But I don't know. It's interesting to see what's going to happen going forward.
One person that I want to bring up, right, and I'll throw it over to Erica. I'll make this real fast. One pitcher that I like to bring up in this conversation that people seem to forget, that was a young pitcher at 19 years old, but for some reason people thought it was okay for a 19-year-old to throw 240, 250 innings his rookie year, and that was Doc Gooden. Doc Gooden, when he came up, he had a lightning arm, probably one of the best pitchers in Major League Baseball. They overused Doc Gooden. Doc Gooden, as a 19-year-old, should not have been throwing over 250 innings his rookie year. And then he got hurt, and he tried to come back. Medical technology nowadays is not what it was back then. Back then, it was nothing close to what it is right now. You could say a lot of pitchers back then, they had to retire or were never the same because of any injuries. Now they would have got Tommy John, rehab, recover, and they would have been back. Erica, I'll throw it over to you, and then we'll switch up the conversation. Go ahead. But also, if there's anybody on the panel that has to dip out, please let us know. We definitely respect your time. I appreciate you.
I'm gonna say a quick goodbye to everybody. It was I love doing this with you guys. Great panel.
I appreciate
Hope everybody in the chat. Hector, my man, my brother, TC, my brother, NFE, my man. Erica, great to have you on the panel. Great insight. Future, keep doing your thing. Jason, love the baby. Keep doing your thing, guys. I'll see you guys later.
Damien, appreciate it, brother. You be safe.
Peace, Damien.
Jason. All right, go ahead, Erica.
No, I mean, everything, especially what you read off on Dr. Andrews, what he thinks it is, it makes sense. There is a lot of pressure on these younger kids to just be better than everyone else. They want to get a chance at the big leagues. And yeah, I mean, I remember when I played Little League, and I remember when I was pitching, I was trying to throw a curveball, and they told me, like, no, don't do that. Like, I remember adults telling me, don't do that because it's going to mess up your elbow. Just trying to learn how to throw a curveball because there's a lot of torque on your elbow just on that. So I can imagine trying to throw 90 miles an hour with a 16-year-old elbow. I mean, it just doesn't make sense. But no, like, yeah, to that point, it has to be the reason. You had guys in the 90s, like, this wasn't a thing in the 90s, and you had guys like Randy Johnson throwing 100-mile-an-hour. You had Roger Clemens, and does HGH stuff help that? I don't know, but I'm sure they'll figure it out. We'll see. Yeah, we'll see what happens. But all I know is 34. It keeps going up, the amount of Tommy John surgeries we're seeing. It's 34% of the pitchers in the MLB have had Tommy John right now, and like just 10 years ago, it was probably 25%. Like, that's a big leap. So yeah, we'll see what happens. We'll figure it out, hopefully.
Erica, I want to ask you, and after you go, we'll pass it along the line and we'll keep the conversation going. There's been talks around Major League Baseball to shorten the season. Are you in favor of shortening the season from 162 to 150, 140 games? How do you feel about that? And then we'll keep the conversation going. NFE, Jason, Future, and then TC. Go ahead, Erica.
No, I don't understand why they would why they keep trying to change the game. It was fine before. I understand they're trying to get a younger viewership or whatever, but what does shortening the season actually do? Honestly, like, the beauty of baseball is that it's such a long season that you can come back, like, even if you have a bad start, like into May or whatever, there's still a chance that you could make it into the playoffs or have a run. I don't understand. Like, I personally don't know why. I haven't even seen that they're trying to shorten the season. This is news to me, but just like instant take, that's so silly. I don't understand them wanting to. Well, how many games do they want it to be?
There's conversations of shortening it to 150, 140, 140 games. It's just a conversation that Major League Baseball was having.
But for what?
To limit the injuries for pitchers, because it makes no sense. Because if you do it like this, if you shorten it to 150 games, you're just taking one start away from a starting pitcher. That's all you're doing. You're just taking one start. If you make it 140 games, you're taking two starts away from a starting pitcher at most, maybe three, depending on how you work the schedule.
What does shortening the season do when all these injuries are happening in the first 2 weeks of the season? Like, what is it's not going to change
spring
anything.
training.
It doesn't
and
matter.
Spring training.
It's so personally, I mean, I'm just an old head when it comes to baseball. I hated all the rules that they implemented. I can't believe there's still a runner on second base. Now you're trying to shorten the season. Nah, I just can't.
Nonsense.
Yeah. My guy Eddie Snaps in the chat brought up a perfect one. A more recent example would be Tim Lincecum. Never the same after the injuries and overuse. And you hit it right on the head. Tim Lincecum, at 23 years old, Tim Lincecum threw his first year in the big leagues, 146 innings. His first year in the big leagues. Second year, 227 innings. Third year, 225. Fourth year, 212. Fifth year, 217. And you're going to tell me an injury wasn't going to happen to Tim Lincecum after you overused him? And this is not even including the postseason that the Giants went to a couple of seasons in that run that I just named there. NFE, I'll throw it over to you when it comes to shortening the season. Let us know. Folks in the chat, let us know. Are you in favor of shortening the season? Go ahead, brother.
Why? I don't understand. I don't get it. Like, really. 100. It's not going to improve injuries. Like, injuries are still going to happen. So, you know, it's not going to lessen the risk any less, right? With injuries, I think they should just keep it at 162. There's no point in shortening the games. Like, I don't understand their logic behind it. You know, I wish I was in the room with those guys to hear what they have to say. Really.
Oh God.
I don't get it.
Jason, let's get your take on it, brother.
Well, I think I mean, a couple of points here. I mean, I don't see the point in shortening the season either, but I mean, Erica made an important point too, and she brought up somebody, Roger Clemens. And Steele's brought up an important point too, using the legs, right? Two of the guys most notorious for having monster legs, but never having elbow problems, Roger Clemens and Nolan Ryan, right? These guys were conditioning freaks during the season. So I would encourage folks in the major leagues to consider doing a study saying, why is conditioning so important in the offseason, but why do you step back on it during the season? Why is there so much emphasis placed on the elbow then? Do you expect the elbow to offset the legs during the season? I think that would be a relevant study, okay, for baseball. And again, it could be something that could give them some clarity and some information saying, a lot of the guys that work really hard on conditioning, especially in the legs, tend to have less elbow problems, less shoulder problems, less Tommy John problems, right? And that to me would be a more worthwhile venture into figuring out how to keep athletes healthy. Because at the end of the day, fans, I don't really want a shorter season.
No,
I want a healthier season.
Yeah,
right. And we want to see the players that we pay to see, that we love to see. And if we can figure out a way to maintain the season that they've had for decades while keeping people healthy, then that's important too, because you're right. And in the youth, these kids are throwing harder nowadays. And as soon as they start introducing off speed, that's when elbow problems start. Curveballs at 12 years old. Why is a 12-year-old throwing a curveball?
Bingo. It
makes
makes
growing.
sense.
His ligaments are growing every year. You go through a growth spurt, it's going to completely change the trajectory of your body in one season. So you have to factor this stuff in. And at least for me, and as a former baseball player too, it's one of the things that I had a 6-inch growth spurt in high school, and it completely threw off my mechanics and completely threw off a lot of stuff. And so speaking from personal experience, I think that is an important thing. I wouldn't introduce off-speed stuff with these high school players at all, to be honest with you. But I know some kids have to. Some kids are forced to, like overseas and in these leagues and so on and so forth. And if kids want to have a shot at making the majors, and I think that too much emphasis has been placed on, can we get these kids to the majors earlier instead of can we develop them further to have a longer, more healthy career, right?
Yeah.
So I think there's been a priority shift at some point. Obviously, a lot of it revolves around money. We know that. So, but at the end of the day, if the emphasis is not on developing these young kids and keeping them healthy, then where's the game going? Good question to ask.
No, definitely. And 1961, I know that's when the last time they did the change with the games. It was 154 games back then. Then they brought it up to 161. Future, I know you were alive in 1961, so let us know what's your thoughts about them shortening the season. Go ahead, Future. Let us know how it was back then in 1961. Future, go ahead.
Well, I'm not even gonna finish the bit.
Go ahead.
I think it's dumb. I mean, to me, it's dumb. Like, yeah, I may be on the younger side, but I enjoy the 162 long season. It's like, one, it's something to do. Two, if the Yankees are good, I'm going to enjoy it. So there's that. But shortening the season it's not going to stop injuries.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know why they're using that as their initial argument. It's not going to stop injuries. They're going to keep happening. The reason why injuries are happening is because there's no like you said, there's a lot like you're letting young kids, 12-year-olds, 11-year-olds throwing 90 miles an hour, trying to teach them to throw that, and then breaking balls and all that. Like, why are you teaching these kids to throw when their arms aren't even ready yet? Yeah. They should just be throwing fastballs and learning how to locate. Mm-hmm. Like, they should be learning location, not velocity. Nah. The whole premise of like you can't and they run with the narrative that you can't learn velocity, but you can learn location. Well, I hate to break it to you, if your arms run out, you can't learn location. Yeah. So it needs to start when they're young. You can't start it now. It needs to start in youth baseball. It needs to be regulated. Mm-hmm. And in the big leagues, maybe, just maybe, hear me out on this. Uh-oh. Because our ace was a spider tack merchant, and he proved he didn't need it. But you can't say it's not a coincidence. After his Cy Young season, he goes down.
Yeah, no, and that ever since the whole spider tack crackdown happened in Major League Baseball, that's when we've seen a big spike of these type of elbow injuries when it comes to starting pitching. Not having the ability to grip the ball and torquing it the way that you can naturally with that spider tack, it's hurting these elbows. Go ahead, Future. I'll let you give your last take, and I got to throw it over to TC. And then we're gonna go around one more time. We're gonna just do predictions for tonight's game against the Marlins. Go ahead, Future. I'll throw it over to TC.
But what's it called? And here's the thing. I genuinely believe stuff should I know they limit on what stuff, but honestly, they should just bring it back. Maybe not spider tack, but they need to bring something back or fix the balls because apparently they're just bad. So you either get rid of the pitch clock and try to fix the problems that you can fix now, or you let the pitchers do what they can so that they're not going crazy and destroying their arms. Honestly, bring back spider tack at this point.
I wouldn't be mad on bringing back spider tack. NFP, I see you had to dip out, so I'll throw it over to you. Give you your last goodbyes before you go, and then throw it over to TC.
Yeah, no. As always, I love jumping on this panel with you guys. Everybody is solid. Everybody's got a great mind to the sport. Got a great mind to the Yankees. So appreciate what you all do. As far as my final take goes, I mean, tonight's game, you got Carlos Rodon pitching. I think the Yankees are going to win, as far as the score, let's call it 6-2.
Nice.
That'll be my score.
Nice. Solid dub. Solid dub. NFP, my brother, appreciate you.
Yeah,
TC,
thank you all.
You got it, brother. TC, let's get your take and then let's throw it over to Erica and let's do final.
Appreciate you, NFP.
Yeah, thank you guys. And again, have a good day, everybody.
Appreciate Erica. Thank you, Jason. Thank you, Future. Thank you, NFE, for jumping on. Thank you, my guy Damien. Appreciate you guys taking time out and jumping on with us in the morning. Appreciate you, NFE. Go ahead, TC.
See y'all later.
Yeah. So as far as shortening the season, no way. I'm a baseball purist. You're gonna mess with the stats of the season. You can't shorten the season. It's got to be at 162. It's and all these changes. It's just getting annoying. It's not really helping the game. You just leave the game alone. They're trying to appeal to the younger generation, like the short mindset. They just need everything quick. Sorry, it's just baseball's not that game. If you love the game, it's just it's the way it is. It's a 162 game season. Leave it alone. And as far as the spider tack, I wouldn't mind bringing that back, or get balls that have better grip, because I think that is a big contributing factor to the arm injuries, as well as the rest. They need you need rest in between starts, in between innings, in between the arm needs to bounce back, and teaching these kids these young kids, it's got to stop teaching them curveballs. You know, teach them knuckleballs. How many knuckleballs need Tommy John surgery? I don't think there's any. You know, so you know, Little League baseball, it's fastball changeup. That's all I would teach. Fastball changeup, and look at Trevor Hoffman. That's all he threw. I mean, he lasted till he was probably about 40 years old, right? And one of the save leaders. And you know, you got to get away from trying to do all these different, you know, curveballs and slavios and all these different the angles of these screwballs. I mean, the arm cannot take that. So you got to stick to the basics, especially as in youth baseball. It definitely regulation needs to happen.
Yeah, I'm agreeing with you on that. All right, so we're just gonna go around. We're gonna do our predictions for tonight's game: Yankees versus Marlins. The over and under is 8.5. My guy Jason with the oodles and noodles. I appreciate you. I've been a big fan of oodles and noodles my life growing up. Erica, I'll throw it over to you. Give us your take. What's your predictions on tonight's game? And when it comes to the over and unders, 8.5, are you going over or are you going under? Go ahead, E.
So before you even said that, I actually had the game being 6-3 Yankees. I mean, it's gonna be. It should be a W for us. I think Rodon should shove. He's gonna have the Yankee crowd behind him this time. You know, he had 2 away starts. I'm thinking 6 innings, 4 hits, 2 earned runs. And I think that we're gonna get to. How do you say? Is it Puck or Pook? Puck? AJ Puck?
I'm going with AJ Puck. I think it's Puck. If it's Puke, hey, you know. I feel bad for him growing up. You know, I know he got picked on.
That's
for that.
LI's favorite guy.
Yeah, he hasn't had the hottest start. He's lost to the Angels and the Pirates already. He's got like a 9 ERA or whatever. I was looking at his stat lines. He gave up a lot of walks to those lineups. So as we know, the Yankees have been seeing the ball really well, working walks. So I think that's going to be a big indicator today. They'll get on base. And I think the big game is going to be Glaber. I think Glaber is going to break out because he went 0 for 4, 0 for 5 yesterday, but he didn't strike out. He was putting the ball in play. I think the ball's going to find the right spots tonight.
If luck.
And yeah, we'll see. We'll see what happens. But I got 6-3 Yankees today.
Copy. Jason, I'll throw it over to you. Give us your predictions. What's your predictions on the score when it comes to the over and unders and 8.5? You think it's over? You think it's under?
I think it's gonna be 7-3 Yankees, so over.
Okay.
7-3 Yankees. I see Rodon probably going between 6 and 7, giving up 2 or 3 runs. A quality start for him. And I also see Gleyber Torres kind of breaking out a little bit. I could see if Austin Wells plays, I could see him getting a hit or 2 also. Those are the 2 guys I'm looking for, particularly Austin Wells, and continued play from obviously Anthony Volpe and hopefully Juan Soto too. But I think the key guy will be Austin Wells and Carlos Rodon, and giving the bullpen a little bit more cushion, a little bit more rest. So the longer he goes, the more fresh arms we're going to have in the bullpen, which is what we need. And again, if they win tonight, they win the series. So I'm looking for them to win the series tonight.
Facts. Future, I'll throw it over to you. Give us your take. What's your thoughts on tonight's game? It's going to be 73 degrees in New York City today. It's a high. It's feeling nice out there. Go ahead, Future. Talk to us.
Hot take. We win 8-0.
All right, so under 8.5. Okay, under 8.5. So Future's going under for the 8.5. Everybody else is going over. Erica, Jason, Future, I appreciate you guys. Thank you guys for rocking out with us this morning. Like always, make sure you guys go follow my guy Jason from 161 River Ave. Make sure you guys go and follow my guy NFE from the Strike Zone. And Future, appreciate you. Erica as well. I will see you out there on these Twitter streets.
Nice talking.
I'm going to let Erica, Future switch it back to just the 2 of us. Hold on. Give me a second. TC, let's get your predictions. What's your thoughts for tonight's game? What's your thoughts before we get out of here, and give us your last comment to the chat as well?
Yeah, so tonight, let's see. In the last 3 games, the Yankees have scored 24 runs. So that's an average of 8. So 8's a number. So I'm gonna say 10. I'm going to say Yankees score 10 today. I'm going to say 10-2. It's going to be a breakout. I think Judge and Glaber, they're going to get their hits tonight. and Rodon's going to give us 6 innings, give up 2 runs, and the bullpen's well rested. So they've had 2 days off, so everybody's available. But Rodon's gonna stick it to him. First home start, he's got to prove something, because a lot of these guys in this pitching staff have come up big. Nestor proved it yesterday. Stroman's been excellent, and Heel and Schmidt have been pitching great too. So Rodon wants to add on to that, and so I think he's gonna shove it today, and 10-2 Yankees.
Yeah, I'm going. I think again, Yankees gonna win the game 10-3. AJ Puck, 9 ERA. His whip 2.83. He's walking guys left and right. I think Giancarlo Stanton's gonna have a home run. It's a left-handed pitcher, pitcher that's struggling as well. Anthony Volpe, you can see a couple of walks. Mark it in the books. Juan Soto is gonna have a walk. So they're gonna make this pitcher work, and his pitch count, he may not last past the 3rd or 4th inning. I'm just putting it out there right now. I'm predicting. No. And when it comes to Carlos Rodon, I'm calling it right now. 7 innings. 7 innings from Carlos Rodon. He's giving up 1 run. Mark that in the books. Make sure you guys bet with your brain, not with your heart. Bet smart, bet responsibly if you're going to go out there. But TC, appreciate you, bro. It was a great conversation this morning. You had a good time?
Great time, great panel. I mean, shout out to all these guys that are always on here constantly. NFE, Damien, Jason, Future. Great to meet you, Erica. I mean, it's just a plethora of great content people on here. It's just it's amazing family we got here. Hector, you started something great, and the Morning Brew has a lot more in store. So stay tuned.
We're just gonna keep growing. It's just about growing. It's just about growing for this season. I'll be at the game later on tonight. You guys can catch me at the bodega. I'll be at the bodega right around the corner from Billy's Sports Bar at around 5 p.m. So if there's anyone going to the game, shoot me a DM. Make sure you run down on me. We'll take some pictures. We'll take some videos. But like always, make sure you drink some water. Stay hydrated. Hit that like button. Hit that subscribe button. We are on our way to 5K. But until next time, deuces.